Morning, all. All right, so 13 games tonight in the National Hockey League because, sure, one game one day and then 13 the next, because why not? So, yeah, we've got 7 games starting at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. An hour later, we get two more. Then a half an hour later, we get the next. An hour later, before we get the next. And then there are two later games as well. So it's a very full night. It's going to be very busy to start. Starting off with Detroit in against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto have won all 3 games against Detroit. They're trying to sweep the season series. October 30th, it was a 5-4 win for the Leafs. January 29th, a 7-4 win for the Leafs. And spectacularly, on February 26th, it was a 10-7 win for Toronto. Detroit, 31, 39, and 10 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 4-5-1. They did win their last game. In terms of overall standings, they're 3 points ahead of the Ottawa Senators. So Ottawa's catching them, and they've fallen off quite a bit as well. On the Toronto side, they're 52, 21, and 7 overall. Last 10 games, they're 7-2 and 1. They did win their last game. They're 5 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So pretty solidly entrenched, and we're in second spot. And so we'll see how things turn out come playoff time. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Florida Panthers in against the Boston Bruins. They have split the season series so far, with Florida winning on October 27th, 4-1. October 30th, it was a shootout victory for Boston, 3-2. On the Florida side, 57, 16, and 6 is their overall record. Their last 10 games, they're 9-1. They did lose their last game. They're 9 points clear of Toronto. They've clinched the East already. We'll see how motivated they are tonight against a Boston team who are 49, 25, and 5. The last 10 games, they're 5-5. They have won 2 in a row. They're 3 points ahead of the Washington Capitals. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between New Jersey and Ottawa. I'm wearing the Sens jersey. I think, yeah, sure, Ottawa should win this. They've won the first two. December 6th, they win in a shootout, 3-2. February 7th, they win 4-1. So we'll see if they can sweep it tonight at home. For New Jersey, they're 27, 44, and 8. Last 10 games, they're 3-5-2. They lost their last game in regulation. They are 10 points clear of Montreal at the bottom of the East, so Montreal finishes last in the East. We'll see how things go from there. Ottawa, 31, 41, and 7 overall. Last 10 games, they're 5-4-1. They've won 3 in a row, and they're 7 points ahead of New Jersey. So that shows where everybody stands in the East right there. It's interesting, the separation between teams, and yet you would still say the team that's ahead in that case, which is Ottawa, still had kind of a disappointing season. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Columbus and Tampa. Tampa Bay won the first meeting on January 4th, 7-2, thus the No Mercy Magnet. And the third and final meeting will be on April 28th. So Tampa Bay rounds out their season against Columbus. At least 2 of their final 3 against Columbus. And we'll see how this affects overall records for Columbus. They got back to NHL 500. They're 36, 36, and 7. See if they stay there tonight. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10. They did win their last game. They're 6 points ahead of Buffalo, which is remarkable. Buffalo's gotten that close now. Tampa Bay, 49, 22, and 8 is their overall record. Last 10 games, 6-3-1. They've won 3 in a row. They're 3 points ahead of the Boston Bruins. So we've basically got things all set up in the Atlantic and in the East, and we'll see if they stay that way. And of course, Tampa Bay's heating up at the right time. So yeah, we'll see whether or not that stays the case. And yeah, I mean, 3 points means that they haven't clinched over Boston yet, but they're close. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. New York Rangers need to win here. They need to win in regulation. The season series so far, 2 out of 3 have been won by Carolina. They win 6-3 on January 21st. The Rangers then won 2-0 on March 20th. And on April 12th, Carolina wins 4-2. Carolina's 52, 20, and 8. Their last 10 games are 7-3. They've won 4 in a row, and they're 4 points clear of the Rangers. The Rangers, 51, 22, and 8. Their last 10 games are 7-2-1. They lost their last game in regulation. They're 7 points ahead of Pittsburgh in the standings. Also 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Oilers in against Pittsburgh. The Oilers once again trying to, solidify that they're going to have home ice in the first round. Secure second spot in the Pacific. The Oilers did win this game in Edmonton, 5-2 on December 1st. We'll see how things go in Pittsburgh. Edmonton, 46, 27, and 6. Last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. They did lose their last game. They're 2 points clear of LA, and as I said, if they win this one, then they clinch that. On the Pittsburgh side, they're 45, 22, and 11. Last 10 games, they're 4-5-1. They did lose their last game. and they're 1 point ahead of the Washington Capitals, who, of course, have a game in hand. So we'll see how that works out this week. It means Washington's got a pretty busy week before the playoffs. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Those Capitals are at home against the Islanders. They've beaten the Islanders both times they've played them this year. They were not easy victories. January 15th, it was a 2-0 win. March 15th, it was a 4-3 shootout win for the Capitals. So we'll see how this one goes tonight. The Islanders, 35, 34, and 10. So one game above NHL 500. Last 10 games are 3-6-1, but they've lost 3 in a row. And they're 1 point ahead of Columbus. On the Washington side, 44, 23, and 12. Last 10 games are 7-1-2. They had an overtime loss their last time out. Shootout loss against Toronto last time out. They're 20 points clear of the New York Islanders. So when somebody talks about, hey, they should expand the NHL playoffs, just say 20-point separation. No. So yeah, this is the third of 4 meetings. They'll meet again on April 28th. I think I said to sweep the season series. Nope, they have a 4th meeting on April 28th. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, the Calgary Flames and against the Nashville Predators. Nashville's won both games. They've not been easy, though. It was a 3-2 overtime win on November 3rd, and most recently, April 19th, it was a 3-2 shootout victory for the Nashville Predators. This could be a first-round series preview as well, right? For Calgary, 49, 20, and 10 is their overall record. Last 10 games are 8-1-1. They've won 2 in a row. They're 10 points clear of Edmonton atop that division. The Nashville Predators, 44, 29, and 6. Last 10 games, they are 4-4-2. They lost their last game in extra time. They're 1 point ahead of Dallas. So, yeah, I mean, for Nashville, it's between them and Dallas as to who gets to play Calgary in that first round or who ends up playing against Colorado. And, you know, Colorado lately, we'll talk about Colorado. But first, at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific as well, we've got Arizona in against Minnesota. Unsurprisingly, Minnesota's won both games. This is the third and final meeting. November 2nd, it was 5-2. November 30th, it was 5-2. So, it could be 5-2 tonight. The Arizona Coyotes, 22, 50, and 7. Last 10 games, they haven't won anything. They're 0-8-2. They had an extra time loss their last time out. They are 7 points back of the Seattle Kraken now. For Minnesota, they're 51, 21, and 7. Last 10 games, they're 8-0-2. So their record is almost a mirror of that of the Arizona Coyotes. They've won 5 in a row, and they're tied with St. Louis for second spot. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. The Vegas Golden Knights will try to sweep the season series against Dallas because their playoff lives are on the line. If Dallas wins in regulation, Vegas is out, Dallas is in, Nashville clinches, and we know the top 8 teams in the West. If Vegas wins, that throws things off a bit, doesn't it? Vegas has won both meetings with Dallas this year. October 27th, they won 3-2 in overtime. December 8th, they won 5-4. Vegas 42, 31, and 6 overall. Last 10 games, they're 5-3-2. They did lose their last game in overtime, or shootout against San Jose. They are 3 points ahead of the Vancouver Canucks, who of course has been eliminated. Dallas 44, 30, and 5 overall. Last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. They're 3 points ahead of Vegas. So again, a win tonight in regulation. We don't have to worry about that race anymore. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, the St. Louis Blues in against the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado has really taken their foot off the gas. These teams have split the season series so far. October 16th, St. Louis wins 5-3. October 28th, Colorado wins 4-3. These games get kind of a little bit testy at times, so I don't know that Colorado's going to keep playing the way they've been playing the last week and a half. But for St. Louis, they're 49, 20, and 11. Last 10 games, they're 9-0-1. They've won 3 in a row. They're 15 points ahead of Nashville, so that's pretty much done. The Colorado Avalanche, 55, 18, and 6. Last 10 games, they're 6-4. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 7 points ahead of the Minnesota Wild. So that race has suddenly become a race, although it was over a long time ago because they clinched the division, they clinched the conference, and that's when they started losing the games as well. So there's a correlation there. Then at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, the Seattle Kraken in against Vancouver. A game that doesn't mean much, but, you know, for Vancouver, they want to sweep the season series. Seattle hasn't beaten them yet. October 23rd, 4-2 win for Vancouver. January 1st, they won 5-2. And then February 21st, they won 5-2 again. So we'll see the score tonight. Seattle, 26, 46, and 6. Last 10 games, they're 5-5. They've lost 2 in a row. They're 7 points ahead of Arizona at the bottom of the West. On the Vancouver side, they're 38, 30, and 11. Last 10 games, they're 6-2 and 2. They've lost 2 in a row in regulation. They're 4 points ahead of the Winnipeg Jets. Then the 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern start, which means that tonight's review is going to be posted late. The Anaheim Ducks in against the San Jose Sharks. Anaheim's won 2 out of 3, although San Jose won the most recent one. February 22nd, it was a 4-3 shootout win for the Ducks. On March 6th, it was a 3-2 overtime win for the Ducks. And March 26th, the only one that finished in regulation, was won by San Jose, 4-1. The Ducks, 30, 36, and 14. Of course, they'll be without Getzlaf, who's retired. They're 2-6 and 2 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. They're 9 points ahead of Chicago. On the San Jose side, 32, 35, and 12. Last 10 games, they're 3, 4, and 3. They've won 2 in a row, and they're 2 points ahead of the Anaheim Ducks. So the Ducks trying to catch up to San Jose. It'll be an entertaining watch, I guess, in parts, because usually California teams hate each other. So we'll see if we get that intensity tonight between the Sharks and the Ducks. Kind of hoping we do, because that'll be the last game I watch, right? So there you go. Let me know your picks in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.